my friends will be making a lunar landing on CBeebies soon. So stand by for cosmic fun and adventure.
Fantastic. Oh, no, we seem to be losing the transmission. Oh, well, never mind. Wow, it looks like Lunar Jim is coming to CBeebies very soon. Can't wait.
There's a man on the moon, you can count on him. He's getting lunar and his name is Jim. Lunar Jim, let's get lunar! Lunar Jim, let's blast off! Rover and Ted are by Jim's side. There's adventure ahead and a lunarific ride. Lunar Jim!
Okay, Ted, I'll go first. Are you ready for my supersonic serve?
Of course I'm ready. I'm an excellent lunar ball player.
Okay, here it comes.
I've got it! I've got it! I would have got it, but I ran into something. It felt like a bouncy wall.
But there's nothing there, Ted.
You don't believe me? Well then, you try to get the ball, Rover. See? You bounced off it too.
That's strange. Really strange. Where is this bouncy wall, Ted? I can't feel anything.
Maybe it's gone. Oh! No, it's still there.
An invisible bouncy wall that only you and Rover can feel. Now, that's a mystery, and I love a mystery, especially a lunar mystery. I wonder if these strange gems have something to do with it. Let's take one back to the Eco-Dome. Maybe Eco will know what it is.
This is a force field gem. It's called a force field gem because it has a force field around it.
Of course it has a force field. I knew that. What's a force field?
A force field is like a bouncy invisible wall, a bit like a trampoline.
A trampoline? Oh, of course. That's why Rover and I bounced off the invisible wall.
But the force field didn't bounce me back.
That's strange. Maybe it's a special force field. One that only works on metal things, like Ted and Rover. Let's find out. This spanner's metal.
Wow!
It bounced back, just like Rover and I did.
OK, now let's try something that isn't metal. Like one of my moon mushrooms.
Good idea, Eco.
Well, what do you know? This force field does only work on metal. You were right, Ripple.
Jim, Pixel here. We have an emergency situation. The supply pod is in trouble.
What kind of trouble, Pixel?
It's out of control and is going to crash on the lunar surface.
Great galaxies! The supply pod is full of tools and equipment. If it crashes, we'll lose everything.
Including my new comic book, Super Technical Device Defender of the Galaxy. It's in the supply pod. Hurry! We have to do something! We have to save my comic book! A nice soft landing.
Now that's what we need for the supply pod. Something to give it a nice soft landing so it doesn't crash.
Too bad we don't have a really big mushroom for it to land on.
That's it! Good idea, Ted!
It's a great idea! What idea was that?
To use bouncy mushrooms. We can gather mushrooms at the moon mushroom field and pile them up to give the supply pod a nice soft landing.
That just might work, Eco. What are we waiting for? Let's get lunar! Let's take the lunar lifter to gather the mushrooms. Ripple, Eco and Ted can come in the hopper. Next stop, the moon mushroom field. Pixel, where will the pod land?
The pod will land between the force field gem patch and the moon mushroom field.
Thank you, Pixel. We're at the mushroom field now.
Hurry up! We need to collect those mushrooms. We have a comic book to save.
I think first we need to make sure the mushrooms are strong enough and bouncy enough for the heavy supply pod to land on.
Good idea, Eco. This moon rock is about the same size as the supply pod. Let's use the lifter to drop it on one of the large mushrooms and see what happens. If the rock bounces back, then we know we can use the mushrooms to stop the supply pod from crashing. Is everyone at a safe distance?
Ready when you are, Jim.
Here goes.
I know it's going to work. I knew it wouldn't work.
Oh no! The mushroom was squashed and the rock broke! Just think what would happen to the supply pod.
And my comic book! What happened?
It looks like you bounced off another force field, Ted.
Look, there's the force field gem.
Wait a minute. You said we need something to stop the supply pod from crashing. Something that it can bounce off. And I think I know what that is.
That's it, Jim. Force field gems. The supply pod is metal, just like Ted and Rover.
That's right. So if the supply pod lands on some force field gems, it will bounce like it's on a trampoline, and it won't crash.
We need a lot of force field gems for something as heavy as the supply pod.
No problem, Ripple. The force field gem patch isn't far away.
But remember, before we start collecting them, we need to test our plan first.
Right. We can use the lunar lifter. It's made of metal just like the supply pod.
So, if the gems work on the lifter, they'll work on the supply pod too.
We might be able to save the supply pod.
And my comic book!
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get lunar! Almost there. Easy does it.
It works! The force field stopped the lunar lifter from landing. Nice work, Jim.
Thanks, Ripple.
Okay, let's start collecting the force field gems and take them to where the supply pod is going to land.
I'm an excellent supervisor. Okay, everybody, start collecting.
That's it. Keep them coming. Oh,
Don't worry, we've got it.
nice shot, Rover. Pixel, how long before the supply pod lands?
20 seconds, Jim.
I hope that's enough force field gems. There's no time to add any more. Right then, everyone, take cover.
Look, here comes the supply pod.
Oh, and my comic book.
Great galaxies! It worked! Ripple, have you seen Ted? I wanted to challenge him to another game of Lunar Ball.
I think he found a different game to play, Jim. Force field gem trampoline.
Tweet, tweet!
Being a superhero is great fun, isn't it, Daddy? behind you.
Looking for something, Tommy Zoom.
My kids! We've got to stop them.
I love this bit.
Only one person can save us now.